Vanishing Gates. Once again, I'm your host Jay with my co-host, as always.
What's up, everyone? This is Jack.
Hey guys, today we're going to talk to you guys about vampires.
Are we now?
Yes. Not the sparkly ones of current folklore and novels, but we want to touch base. It's a big topic to talk about. Vampires have been around for over 1,000 years in folklore and stories.
Yeah. I mean, they go back to times before, I think, Sumar, the Sumerian culture. They had vampires. They had gods and stuff like that were vampires. It's very old.
Yeah. I mean, even the old Hebrew culture, even biblical culture, that era, maybe not in the Bible per se, but in cultures of the Bible for sure. I don't know about Sumerians that much. I really like Sumatran coffee, which I'm sure is not the same thing.
It might be. You never know.
It's not.
Find that.
Pretty sure. Yeah, anyhow. But we want to touch base on the real vampires. The people that were first accused, the real people that were first accused of being vampires in current, history.
Well, I mean, the term vampire, depending on how you want to put it, I don't know what you mean by a real vampire.
Well, I mean, the definition of vampire is someone that feeds off the energy or blood of someone else. So we'll get into more of that later, because this is probably going to be more than one episode, guys. And maybe we'll even have an interview with a vampire. Dun dun dun.
I like that segue.
If we can find one. I've been trying to put it on Craigslist, and it keeps getting flagged for removal from Craigslist.
Well, it's probably where you're posting it at.
Turns out I put it in the casual encounters. Apparently, casual encounters on Craigslist is not a good place to find vampires.
If you're trying to hook up with a vampire, that's definitely where you want to be.
Well, we want to hook up, we just don't want to hook into.
Exactly. There we go.
I mean, if she's hot, I might let her bite me.
I mean, obviously.
You don't like getting bit? Come on, guys. Who doesn't like getting bit a little bit?
We're going off the rails now.
A little bit? Like that? All right. So, reeling it back in here, guys. First of all, if you guys have vampire stories, email us at
vanishinggates@gmail.com. That's 2 G's.
Yes, and let us know if you have any information about vampires, vampire stories, local legend, local lore, maybe handed down traditions from your family, and if you are a practicing vampire, because this is a thing, there's a culture behind it, we'll get into it in a later episode here, but please email us, contact us. We would love to interview. We'd love to hear your story. But now, we're going to go back and reel it back a little bit. We're going to talk about the first person in record accused of being a vampire. The first person that's a human and not a myth that we know of, that we could find. And we're not talking about Vlad Tepes, because that's a whole different story. He wasn't even accused of being a vampire. Came up with the whole Bram Stoker
Before
thing.
we jump into that, that's a whole nother
podcast.
We will definitely do an episode on
Vladimir Tepes. We do an entire
Tepes.
episode on Vlad Tepes. I would love to do that. And the link between, and this will probably be a later episode, the link between Vlad Tepes, Bram Stoker, and Jack the Ripper. And there is a correlation there, guys.
I know the story you're about to jump into, and I think the interesting thing here is the story that's about to be jumped into here is very easily one of the most interesting, because it has so many. It would have had to have so many witnesses, so many people who would have been at the event to see what was happening. And the thing that gets me about this is how old it is. This is a time when, storytelling was getting involved. People were doing a lot more storytelling, but at the same time, there are so many of these types of stories out there where there are large groups of people that see something. How many of these can exactly be fake? Or how many of these would be real, is the question.
Well, it's not like back then you'd have a camera phone out and going, "World Star is a vampire sucked your blood out." Or a bunch of guys seeing a leprechaun in a tree in the ghetto. So let's clarify, and guys, that's not meant to be racist at all. Ghettos everywhere. Including here. In the ghetto. I just fell off on that joke. All right, let's reel it back, though, guys. If I offended you, good. Fuck off. Let's go to the story. So, the first guy we have on record as being accused of being a vampire was a man named Grando Alilovic. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He lived from 1579 to 1656. He's a villager from the region of Istria, which is modern-day Croatia. The first real person, it says, to be described as a vampire in historical records. Referred to also, vampire can mean in the language Strigon, or Stragoon, and I could be pronouncing this totally wrong. If you guys have a better pronunciation, please email us and correct me, and add the audio in the email so I can hear how you're saying it, because
he can read it.
Fuck all. But also, he lived in Kringa, Kringa, a small town in the Istrian Peninsula. Died of illness in 1656. That is until he was decapitated in 1672. But how, you say? How does this go about happening? Well, supposedly, shortly after his death, he would rise from the grave at night. The priest that interred him, or did his service or whatever, found that villagers would receive a knock on their door, and within a few days, someone from that house would die. It's also said that Jor's wife would complain about visits from him. He would visit her at night in her bedroom and sexually assault her with a smile on his corpsey face, which is basically how I look at my wife every time we make love.
You know, the question, aside from that freaky image, as I know your wife, aside from the fact that I'm now going to have nightmares.
See, it's already happening. I'm a vampire.
Why would someone not have a smile on their face?
Oh, man. I guess if you're dead, well...
Maybe that was just his thing. That's why he didn't kill her or drink her blood. Maybe that was just his thing.
Maybe that's why they got the idea for that Jack the Killer guy on Creepypasta.
Smiling Jack?
Is that what it is?
I have no idea.
The guy was like, he has no nose, but he has big eyes and a big smile.
Oh, I totally don't read Creepypastas.
And there's like dogs that look like him or something on the...
Yeah, I totally don't read Creepypastas.
Yeah, don't read Creepypastas. It's a waste of time. So, anyhow, a prefect named Miho Eretic, again, I might be pronouncing this wrong, Miho Eretic chased and tried to kill Jor with a hawthorn stick. Now, guys, a hawthorn stick is a steak, like in the movies, but it's made from, like, the family of whitethorn, the plant whitethorn. Because there's an old belief in Europe that whitethorn was made to the crown that was on Jesus' head, was whitethorn. Or so I heard from the History Channel way back in the day. Can we just take a moment,
a man of the cloth, running after a supernatural creature with a stick over his head.
This is a prefect.
Ah!
This is a politician, basically, a prefect, I think. I think a prefect is a politician. Guys, what's a prefect? Let me Google this. Hold on. Keep talking about vampires for a second. I'm going to Google prefect.
They've got fangs, slick hair, they wear long cloaks. You know, it's just, it confuses me what he thought he was going to do if he thought this was a real vampire. Like, you have to wonder if they're tales of vampires at the time. Did he, like, think they had supernatural strength? Could they jump really high? And if he knew these things, why would he be stupid enough to go one-on-one against something with a stick?
Well, he was in a position of power. He's a politician. Guys, by the way, a prefect, I was right, is a person in power in society, not a minister.
No, well, I'm sorry. I misheard there for a second.
You're very sorry.
My bad.
With your Wolverine.
I still just thought the image of a man running down the street with a stick over his head shouting at vampires.
You look like a fat old man, Logan. Anyhow, so a prefect, Neo Retic, chased and tried to kill Jor with a hawthorn stick. Again, a whitethorn stake. And it didn't penetrate his skin.
Shocking.
Oh, wait, there's more notes here, guys.
I wonder if he sharpened it.
Well, I'm sure he didn't try it into the flat post. I have a Hawthorne 4x4.
I can see it now.
A fence builder. It must be a vampire. I'm going to lay him in the ground.
He's the precursor to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's where he got the idea with the stick.
We're going to get sued for
Started beating people with giant 2x4s because the priest once did it.
2x4 of whitethorn.
Can you imagine catching up to
the Hawthorne 2x4?
Just seeing him standing there whacking him on the back of the head repeatedly with a little stick.
Alright, so let's reel it back a little bit. So villagers dug up Jor's coffin, carrying a cross, lamps, and, again, Hawthorne 2x4s. Just a Hawthorne stick, I'm sure. Found Jor's corpse to be perfectly... It was like he wasn't even dead. It was like in perfect preservation. But he had a dirty-ass, perv smile on his face and blood around his mouth.
She said his corpsey smile.
I said corpsey.
Oh, okay. That was just
because it says
an embellishment then.
His corpse smiled. Because his wife actually said his corpse attacked her, which is I'm wondering if she's like of the Burke and Hare tradition, like where she was a grave robber and just tried to make it look really good when they caught her with the dead guy.
Oh no!
Also sounds bad. Guys, necrophilia is not good.
Where are we going with
The
this?
more you know.
We're going to get sued now.
No, it's public servants announcement. Necrophilia is bad, guys. Don't fuck the dead folk.
This is our public service message. It's just basically us saying
poke the dead folk.
no dead folk, people.
No dead folk, guys. No dead folk.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
I know that they can't say no. It's not the same thing as. It's not good.
You just
don't.
Let's pull back now.
No, we can't.
Let's go back to.
Well, no, we're snowball.
All
right, next part of the story.
Go back.
Father Giorgio invokes the name of Jesus Christ whilst they are trying to stake him in the heart. The stake is not piercing his skin at all.
Do you think they said Jesus Christ at that point?
He literally said Jesus Christ. And then, Jesus Christ, this isn't working. I don't know if they did that, but that's how I would do it. Now, the villagers attempted to pierce his heart again, it says, but the stick wouldn't penetrate his flesh. After some prayers of exorcism now, Stepan Milicic, this guy's name is Stepan Milicic, he took a saw and he just starts cutting the fucker's head off.
So I can see this now. Dear God and Jesus in heaven, help us kill this creature from hell. Hold on, I got this, Father.
I am
Jesus Christ!
99.9% sure that the Croatians didn't have Irish or shitty Scottish accents whilst killing this vampire. Now, guys, hey, listen, this is important. Apparently, he screamed and blood flowed from his neck as he was being decapitated by a saw. Now, guys, there were no chainsaws back then. This guy had to put some handiwork in it. I don't know if you've ever removed the head of another human being, but it takes some back and forth movement unless you have a power tool.
I'd fucking scream.
Well, we have Jack's perspective. He'd fucking scream. Quote of the year.
I'd probably shout Jesus Christ too while he was doing it.
Supposedly after the decapitation, it ended. Pretty sure they burned his body because that's what they usually do when they dig people up and they think they're vampires.
You ever think they got that Hawthorne thing to work?
No, clearly it didn't work. I wonder if Hawthorne is like the first McAfee antivirus. It doesn't really work.
Now, it just gives you false hope, and then all of a sudden you're screwed when you get into the moment.
Oh yeah. Now Jura is not the only guy accused of being a vampire who's a real person, guys. There's also Arnold Paoli, or Paole. I think it's Paoli, a Serbian soldier who became famous only after he became a vampire. So he was just a regular dude who was a Serbian soldier, and he claims that he got attacked by a vampire in Turkey.
That's weird. You think you get attacked by a turkey in Turkey?
Well, no, you think about it, turkeys in Turkey.
Are there turkeys in Turkey?
We know that vampire myth goes back to the Middle East, and Turkey is part of the Middle East.
Oh my God. What else is in the Middle East?
The South Middle East or the North Middle East? What part of the Middle East do you think Turkey's in? The thigh bone?
Somewhere near North Carolina, right?
Is it the wishbone of the Middle East?
I thought North Carolina was in the Middle
not
East.
America. Not America.
Oh, I get you.
We have to seem a little smarter than that. We're not that dumb. We're
can't
dumb,
anyway.
guys. We're not that dumb. So, anyhow, he died in 1725, apparently from a bad fall, which is really Irish of a guy from Serbia. He, within a month of his death, 4 people claimed he attacked them, and all 4 of them died shortly after.
Wait a minute. He made it all the way back to Serbia after getting bitten by a vampire, and then turned only
Well,
after
he
died.
claimed before he died that he had been attacked by a vampire in Turkey. And then later on, he died. Nobody paid attention to him until he rose from the grave and killed people, apparently.
I'm just saying that was really slow vampire poison.
Well, it's poison. Poison doesn't always act fast. And how do we know it wasn't a month later or a week later?
I mean...
He could have been in Turkey, and 25 minutes later, he fucking fell off a ladder in Serbia.
Isn't most folklore, like, it happens pretty quickly?
No, not necessarily. I mean, so it's usually within a week or two. But that makes sense when it comes to, like, diseases and pathology. It happens pretty quick, and sometimes it happens slower. So who knows? Maybe vampirism takes a while.
Yeah, maybe he had great enzymes.
Great. And look at the
I don't
enzymes
know
on
what
that
enzyme-
one. That
enzyme.
sounds like a really good pickup line. Hey, dude, look at the enzymes on her, Jack.
No, thank you.
I would enzyme that to death.
We're going off the rails again here. Let's reel back in.
You started it. Now, so a month after his death, 4 people claimed to have been attacked by him. and all 4 died shortly after. When they dug him up, being Arnold Paoli, or however you say it, he was freshly preserved again.
Like Arnold.
Like the blood, Jor, yeah. Just like Jor, he was freshly preserved looking. So he had blood on his mouth too, and they staked him. When they staked him, his corpse moaned, blood flowed out from the wound.
But did they get him with a hawthorn stick?
I don't know, but I know that they dug him up and burned him alive after, or burned his corpse.
Did they call the guy with the saw from the last guy?
I think it's a little bit later, buddy. I'm not sure that guy was still active. Let's see.
Maybe he was a vampire. And
1725, and this was in 70. You know what? 1672 and 1725. I'm pretty sure the guy with the hawthorn stick and the saw were probably just busy doing something else at that point, like dying.
No, they could have been there.
They lived to the ripe old age of like 25 back then.
What? They could have made it.
Just saying.
You never know. If someone called him and said, "Father, guy with hacksaw, come and help kill this thing."
Well, here's the thing. His victims were also dug up after they dug him up and burned his corpse. And
well,
they also looked freshly preserved.
When you're going to hold one sacrosanct, why don't you just do multiples?
I don't know. The next one is Peter Blagojevic.
Blagojevic?
Blagojevic.
Blagojevic?
Yeah, Blagojevic. He died in 1725, apparently. As a Serbian peasant, one of the earlier cases, supposedly killed 9 fellow villagers. Blagojevic lived in then Kisilova, Serbia. Again, Serbia. These guys all on like the Eastern Bloc. You notice that? A lot of vampires in that area. So if your name's Ivan,
run.
I have garlic for you.
Maybe we give you a hawthorn stick.
A hawthorn
Never
stick?
mind. Maybe we'd give you a saw.
Would you hold this hawthorn stick and
we'll give you a powered saw, though. Don't worry about it.
Do you think it was a hacksaw, or do you think it was like one of those, chop saws? No, it's probably a hacksaw. Well, no, hacksaws go through metal, right?
Probably a chop saw.
What was a miter saw? Like it had a miter box and for cutting wood straight and straight?
I have no idea.
Probably not. All right, so.
Do I look like I mastered
No.
either wood cutting or chopping off vampires?
You look like you master eating a lot of greasy foods. His death was followed by a rash of sudden deaths. Apparently, each one a day apart. I know. 9 people were dead in 8 days. As he lay dying, the victims all claimed to have been assaulted by Blagojevic in the night. By strangulation. Supposedly, he throttled all of them right before they died in their sleep. His wife, now, again, the wife comes into play, but this time it wasn't a sexual assault. Motherfucker asked for his shoes. Honey, hi. I know I've been dead for a while, but I need my Nikes. We need Jordans in the afterlife.
I don't think they had Jordans back then.
Shut up. Not the point.
Chuck
D's? Let me Chuck D's, babe.
I think
I gotta go hunt the living.
maybe Air Force Ones. Let's go back pretty far.
No, I need my British Knights. Well, now there's other stories too, though, where he actually, instead of his wife, he came across his son at the house and asked for food. The son said no, and he killed him and drank his blood, which apparently is a big deal for vampires. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but apparently vampires like to drink blood.
I think everybody currently is aware that this is a thing.
I thought they liked fried chicken.
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't like fried chicken?
You have fried chicken on the brain tonight.
Oh, God, I had fried chicken earlier. It was so good.
What the
Anyhow.
hell did you have fried chicken in?
Oh,
Maybe we shouldn't say.
Yesterday. So stories of vampires have been around for 1,000+ years at least. There have been different names, but stories of the undead drinking the blood have been pretty much in every culture. This is me going through my notes, guys, in case you weren't sure. Now, there's more to it, guys. There's all sorts of different things that are happening today. Vampires of today, guys. There's people that say they're vampires now. What do you think about that? Like a subculture.
The interesting thing is I believe that people can live their life the way they want if they are happy with the way they are. I mean, the thing is obviously I don't believe that there's vampires. I think that the thing is, maybe back in the day, there were just weird things that happened that maybe don't happen anymore. But the thing is why would it all stop? That's the thing that's always gotten me. Like, you hear these stories about demons and stuff. So when you talk about, people today, these people don't go out attacking people. The people who live this lifestyle, they drink blood from people who are willing victims, I guess. And they don't kill anybody. But, however, to me, it's still just a little weird. I mean, I would love to hear from an actual vampire, someone who lives the lifestyle, why they do it. If they believe they're a vampire, because while I'm, skeptical about all of this stuff, not just vampires, Bigfoot, Wendigos, any of those things, I'm skeptical always. And so maybe someone could convince me, maybe someone could show me, and whether or not they think they're, like, legitimately, if they couldn't get a donor to give them blood, whether or not they could survive, just questions like that. And, that's something that's always made me wonder, like, what drives someone to live in that kind of lifestyle? I mean, I understand that there are, I think there's diseases that cause pigmentation of the skin, or lack of pigment in the skin.
A craving of actual blood.
Yeah, I know that does happen. And then and usually all goes together with like long fangs, whites. The skin, you can't go out in the sun. People have they can't
hypertrichosis.
Yeah, and that comes with like longer fangs. And then sometimes people have a thirst for blood.
Longer fangs? You mean canines?
Sorry, yeah, canines.
Fangs.
And
so guys, here we have Captain Jack Killadream. Coined. Now, boom, hashtag Captain Jack Killadream, our resident skeptic. Now, no, I mean, like, what do you think about the idea of actual vampires? Like, people that aren't people anymore, the undead.
They don't exist.
How do you figure? Dudes are eating people's faces in fucking Florida, man. Like, how do you think that the undead don't exist?
Okay,
define the undead.
People are eating faces in Florida because they're on drugs. And the undead
No, toxicology reports came back and said no, nay, never.
Because they leave the system really rapidly.
Rapidly?
Yes.
How rapidly is that?
Like within hours, I imagine.
Probably faster than the guy's face he was digesting?
He probably was just on the edge.
He
might have peed himself on the way there and they didn't check it.
He just pissed out all the drugs?
Yeah.
So guys, if you're going to do bath salts, apparently if you just drink a lot of liquids prior, you won't eat someone's face. Because according to Captain Jack Killadream, you'll just piss it all out without getting infected by the toxins.
I will murder you in your sleep. And I will have your wife give you your
bath salts.
I will take your shoes.
Alright, now guys, there's more to this vampire thing than that though. There's also serial killers who have said they're vampires. Or have been accused of being vampires. In fact, some of their names, we'll go over some of the names now. And again, on a later episode, we'll delve more into the serial killer aspect and talk about these cases individually, at least some of them.
Wait. Before we get into any of that, I want to know what you think about the undead that are currently unliving in this world and what you think on it.
I see zombies every day.
Really?
Every day.
Okay. Anything that's not involved with drug addicts?
Guys, I tell you what, you look up Eureka, California and Humboldt County, and just type in zombies, and I win.
How do you win this? That's not even
because they're zombies.
I live here.
Zombies,
and
they're zombies.
No.
They're zombies.
And just in case. And now, just in case. Oh God. And now, in case you wanted to stalk Jay, you know where he is.
I didn't say I live there. I just said I'm here.
He's currently here.
From the Cave of Darkness by Vanishing Gates. Right out of Northern California, in the heart of the Emerald Coast. I just did that.
Nice.
See, I can do that.
Yeah, it works.
It's like almost like I'm professional at this.
What do you think about vampires, though?
Vampires,
not the creepy zombies that beg for change.
I swear to God, if you see you're a vampire and you attack me, and sunlight hits you and you sparkle, I'm gonna kick you right in your vagina.
He carries a hawthorn stick.
I carry I pack a big hawthorn stick.
No one got him a saw yet, so he's not going to be able to do much.
Oh, I have saws. Lots of saws.
You just carry it around.
I have power saws.
It's funny, I hear that's the first tale, and so people probably got the idea from staking someone there. So you got to wonder why they didn't ever get the idea of just chopping the fucking head off with a saw. It seems more rational.
I also wonder, you say staking, the way you say that, I wonder if there's like a deeper root to that, the idea, because we know that most of these situations, probably people that were just superstitious, or they had a disease and they got buried with it, and they passed the disease around, and so they blamed them for it and that they were alive. But isn't there some kind of like phallic symbolism behind the hawthorn stick, really? I want to stick him in the heart with this hard wood. Doesn't that sound kind of like a phallic ideal to you? I don't know, maybe it's just me.
I really don't think that it's a phallic
You never got
symbol.
that far? You don't think a hawthorn stick's a phallic symbol?
No, I don't cross that line. that never even occurred to me. I think you've got it on your mind too much.
It's on your mind now, boy. I
No,
shared
it's-
my Hawthorne stick of truth with you.
Yeah, no, I didn't pick it up. So
Well, think about it, man. Like, okay, consider this. So people are dying around someone who is sickly and different, acting different. So this person, say, had a disease, a contagion. And back then, science wasn't very fucking up to date. Disease and all this shit, they didn't know much about it. You know, all the entomology of, I think entomology is the right word, of disease and all this stuff. They didn't have any real reference or understanding of it. They assumed it was witchcraft or something deep and dark. So, think about this. In a masculine culture, when everyone around you's dying because they came in contact with someone, even if there was just a brief contact, what do? You have to like protect your kin and your folk, you know? So you come across a good way to kill the bad guy, and it's always a phallic object
well,
in the old days. Like, I mean, I wouldn't call an axe a phallic object.
The first thing we
because it's
do
a chopping
is we have
tool.
commenters go ahead
But
and
there's-
mention that it may not mean entomology, that you might have been wrong there.
I may have been wrong
So
on
we
that.
can mock you as much as possible.
You can't. I don't care.
And then,
I think it's etymology.
I have no idea.
Anyhow,
I
guys,
have no idea.
again, if you want to correct me on my use of the word et or entomology, please email us at
vanishinggates@gmail.com
Two
with
Gs?
2 G's. 2 G's, yep.
2 G's. Just like us. 2 G's. Original gangsters.
No, we're not.
No, not even a little.
Not even slightly.
So, vampires. I still maintain the whole phallic thing about it. It makes a little bit of sense.
I mean, I guess if you want to imagine that
I
some
think
dude
it's-
is just
no, I
wanting
just-
to
I
punch
think that-
his dick through someone's heart,
Well, no, it's not. It's a,
maybe they're just
Man.
living the dream of wanting to phallically punch their penis through a
I
vampire's
just want to
chest.
fuck everyone's chest cavity directly. Just pierce the quickest way to a person's heart with my cock. I can see that being a European trait back in
That
the day.
sounds like something that they would do in the Middle
It
East and
does.
Europe.
And yeah, in parts of Europe. Guys, not now though. Old Europe. He's being an insensitive
Unless you
racist.
want to.
Jesus balls.
How is,
All right, so
have
let's
you
talk.
ever been to Europe and the Middle East? There's more white people than here.
Have you?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
Back in 1765 when I
So,
chopped off someone's head.
none of
with a
us-
saw.
None of us, the two of us, none of us, and all four of him have ever been to the Middle East or Europe.
You're a prick.
I am. There's that phallic thing again. See, you try to defend yourself and you can't really. So what do? You go right to the Hawthorne stick. So let's talk about something more vampire related that isn't phallic. God, we should get some girls in here for this podcast, if we knew any.
I don't think you know any.
I don't know any. It's because my giant horn rimmed glasses.
You're what?
They're always worried about my pocket protector with my pens in it and all the lab tools.
Naturally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
It's because I'm, boring. Anyhow, guys, so let's change subjects a little bit. Let's talk about vampire video games. Any good vampire video games that you know that you're used to?
Castlevania.
Yeah, it's not really a vampire video game. I mean, in the end, you fight one vampire at the end of it.
Yeah, depending on which one you play, it's
What
pretty
about,
shitty.
was Devil May Cry a vampire game?
Devil May Cry?
Wasn't he like a...
Shit, I never played it.
Yeah, I never played it either. Alright guys, so there's not very many vampire video games.
That we know of.
If you have any good vampire video games, hit us up. I know we seem like we're fading, but right now we're going to take a break for about 10 minutes. We'll be back. But you won't know it's 10 minutes because you're going to hear some weird music. Love you, bye. Hey guys, we're back with Vanishing Gates. I'm your host, and again with me as always,
Is Jack?
and we are talking about vampires.
Naturally. It seems to be the case.
Naturally, we're not naturally talking about vampires, or are they natural?
You know what? I just
We don't
wanna
know if
say
they're
naturally. Don't hate me.
supernatural or natural. What do you want to say, natural?
Now who's the dream killer? Now who's the dream killer?
You're Captain Jack Killadream. Gonna go with that forever now.
No, I'm not.
Must have been love, but it killed that dream. All right, guys, don't judge us on our singing skills. We don't have any. Now, let's talk about vampires in movies. What's your favorite vampire movie there, Jack?
Oh, man, let me think.
He's going to say Blade.
You know, I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah.
But it is.
Blade,
Yeah.
Blade's good.
Blade. Barely a vampire movie. Barely a Wesley Snipes movie. Still a good movie.
Was not Queen of the Damned.
Oh, with
That
the
didn't even
wattlefish
follow.
girl.
That didn't even. You know, she died shortly after that.
I
That's
do.
rude.
Her performance is so bad that her plane crashed after that.
Oh, that's so messed up.
That was one of the worst movies ever made. Queen of the Damned was by far
She definitely should have stuck to singing.
one of the worst movies ever made.
People just thought she was hot, and that's the only reason they liked it.
She was hot.
Well, you know, the movie, if you didn't read the books, I guess you could have liked it, but the honest to God's truth is if you read the books, you would know that it was a clusterfuck.
Oh, you've read the Anne Rice books. Talk about Anne Rice books. Guys, hey, we don't Anne Rice, and Anne Rice, if you're listening, apologies. We're going to pimp your books out a little bit because Jack is a big fan.
Oh, yeah, I love the books. I've read
I'm going to take the show for a while. So talk about Anne Rice books, because I've read a little bit of it.
What do you want to know? I
Just talk about them. What do you like about it? Tell us about Anne Rice.
Well, you know, the thing is, I like the earlier stages of the original book, and there's going to be some spoilers here, so those of you who haven't read the books.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, definitely. Spoiler alerts. Like, one of the things I did not like about, for Queen of the Damned, for instance, the thing is, the person who made him, they said in the movie, was Marius, but it was actually a guy named, or it was a vampire named Magnus. And Magnus was this ancient vampire, I think he was like 1,000 years old at the time. He had trapped a vampire and under the ground, and he was he was an alchemist. And he stole the blood of this vampire. Well, it was considered, it's against the law to do so in the vampire culture, and so he was kind of an outcast. But the story of Marius was Marius never got involved with Lestat until much later on in the story. I think Lestat was about...
Who the fuck is Lestat?
Lestat is actually the protagonist. He's the main... Everything revolves around Lestat in those series.
Oh, that's right, because he had that book, the book of the vampire Lestat. I remember Mom having on the shelf.
Yes. The interview of the vampire was about Louis telling the story about his adventures with Lestat, and then I believe afterwards.
Was that the Tom Cruise guy?
Yeah.
Lestat? Okay.
Tom Cruise was Lestat.
I thought he was a bad guy in that.
He was supposed to be, but that's the point of one of the points of the book for Vampire Lestat. In the Vampire Lestat, he explains that he wrote the book because Louis was telling lies about it.
Oh.
That a lot of the things were just misinterpreted by Louis, and so he was writing the book to help explain what the truth was.
Wasn't Kirsten Dunst in that movie? As the girl, the little girl?
Yes, she was the little girl. She was Claudia.
But she was not little, though. She was, like, really old. Was she in the book, that character, or was that something they added later for Kirsten Dunst to have a...
No, Claudia was in the book.
Oh, okay.
I believe her name was Claudia. I'm not great with names.
Guys, if he's wrong, just let it go. You're fine.
Yeah,
Read the book yourself.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But no, I mean, the movie, the thing that bothered me was so much of it was just wrong. Like, for instance, Lestat had this violin that his old friend Nicky, who killed himself, he turned, so him and this guy named Nicky,
But I thought the guy with the violin was a Jibbo guy, which is
No.
Wasn't that Brad
No.
Pitt's character?
No.
Oh, okay. Now,
No.
Did Brad Pitt
I
actually
believe,
kill
was-
Tom Cruise, the sickle in the book?
Brad
or is
Pitt
this
was
the movie?
Louis.
Huh?
Brad Pitt was Louis. I don't, I never
Guys,
read Interview with the
I've
Vampire.
never read any of these books, so...
I don't remember Interview with the Vampire, and I don't even remember, I haven't read some of the books in a while. I haven't read, the in-betweens, the stories of Armand and stuff like that. So I don't actually know what happened with the Theater of the Vampires.
Wasn't there that other book series you liked, that Anita Blake one that Mom got you, that Heather read instead of whoever she is read?
Laurel K. Hamilton, yeah.
Laurel K. Hamilton. How is that? So, guys, if you want to read some good vampire books, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. Aside from, of course, Bram Stoker's Dracula, which, by the way, was not based off Vlad Tepes. We'll get into that in a later episode.
Once again.
Cliffhangers. So go ahead and talk about this Laurel K. Hamilton thing.
I wasn't quite done with...
okay, never mind. We'll go back to Anne Rice.
Thanks for just jumping off the train there.
Guys, I can't keep this too tight because I've read these books. So I'm going to let Jack do this. I'm going to step back. By the way, guys, we would do Cigar of the Week, but Jack has strep throat, and he's being a little pussy.
I can't breathe very well, so he's mocking me.
Oh, yeah. You can't breathe well normally because all the weight on your lungs.
That's, so many fat jokes in one episode.
I was just saying you have really nice pectoral muscles, but whatever, take it as an insult. Anyhow.
Just make fun of my weight.
I was going to call you Mr. Olympus, the dream killer.
Oh, I'm sure that's how it is. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're a dickweed. And so, the thing, well, like I said, the things that were bothering me, like for instance, the person who made him, it wasn't Marius, it was Magnus. They were roughly, I believe they were roughly the same age. Like Magnus would have been the same age as Marius.
Was Antonio Banderas in that movie?
Yeah, he played
the one you're talking about,
Armand.
Marius or whatever? Oh, he's Armand.
No, he was Armand.
What's Armand?
Armand was the leader of the damned. He was the children of the damned
I
that
feel like
lived
I'm
under the
missing a
cemetery.
huge amount of this.
They lived under a cemetery. I think it was.
Well, that was a book, Children of the
remember.
Damned or something? Was that one of those Anne Rice books? Children of the Damned or something?
Fuck, I don't remember.
I think that if you watch the movie Interview with the Vampire, you're missing a huge amount of the story.
If you watch,
because that's all I watched was the movie, and I didn't read any of the
you'll
fucking
miss
books.
a lot. Like the point of the Vampire Lestat is it's interesting is because it basically contradicts a lot of what the Interview with the Vampire. And I never read Interview with the Vampire, but I know it contradicted some things because they say it in the book. He's explaining the truth of how things were gotten wrong in Interview with the Vampire.
Oh,
yeah. The reason the Interview with the Vampire is a very short novel. The Vampire Lestat is a huge novel.
I feel like I don't have the patience to even try to read those.
Not really. But the thing is about the Queen of the Damned. The Queen of the Damned. The interesting about Queen of the Damned is it's basically the movie.
I read Bonfire of the Vanities and War and Peace, and I have the patience to read Anne Rice books. That's no slight on Anne Rice. It's just, God, it's like the Harry Potter books. I just don't have the ability in myself to read it.
But no, the Queen of the Damned the movie. What I was going to say about the Queen of the Damned the movie was the fact that it just got so much wrong. Like it basically stole from the Vampire Lestat without making the Vampire Lestat movie. They made the Queen of the Damned instead. I think it's because they had I can't remember what her name was. Who was the leader? Like I don't remember the lead chick that was in the movie, and they didn't want to. They didn't want to waste it on the Vampire Lestat because. Aaliyah, I think that's what it was.
No.
I think it was Aaliyah.
She was the one in Romeo and Juliet. Is it the same one?
No, I'm pretty sure I think it was Aaliyah.
Maybe. It's been a while. Guys, if we're wrong, don't hate us.
We're not trying to be dicks here. We're just trying to remember things.
Yeah, we don't make a lot of... I make notes about the supernatural stuff, and we talk about bullshit after that. And if you guys thought this podcast was just about factual information stuff... it's because you haven't emailed us information.
Yes.
Yeah, so email us more information. Also, we tend to drink alcohol and smoke cigars, except for today, because, again, Jack has sand in his vagina. Strep throat, ooh.
Oh, my apologies. Not being able to breathe is so
You know,
so
for
horrible.
a towhead, you have quite the ginger beard growing on you. You're almost a man.
For the love of God.
All right, so let's talk about vampire movies, though. Are you still going to go... Wait, no, was it the Laurel K. Hamilton thing? Let's talk about that. How's that? Because, guys, really, we want you guys to read these books and enjoy them, because we'll enjoy... We'll talk about stuff that I've read, too, eventually.
Literally, the first few novels of the Laurel K. Hamilton books were really good. Like, they were really good. And then I can't remember how far, and I think it was either book, like, 4 or 5... They basically turned the entire book into a sexcapade. Like...
So, guys, read those books.
No, the thing is if you enjoy a character, like, what I was annoyed is it was written by a woman, but at the same time, it's like it's an exploitation sex book. She turned it into like those dollar books that you buy with, like, the dude on the cover that's, like, windswept hair and bullshit. And I'm just sitting there like...
Do you buy those a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Harlequin romance novels like Mom used to buy?
My wife reads them all the time.
No, fuck all. Why would you read that?
I don't know. But
guys, hold on. Keep in mind, we're going to have a lot of people. The people who listen to Paranormal Podcasts are usually women that buy Harlequin romance novels. And honestly, girls, keep it up.
We don't know why.
We love you.
But
just tell us in vivid detail why you buy those books and what they do for you.
For the love of God, if you don't stop, I'm going to end you.
We're not making fun of you guys. We make fun of ourselves. Trust us. We're just not the most secure dudes ever. Or we would be doing this on public television or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't go far.
No, because we have faces for radio.
Yeah. Well, no.
Jack has 3 faces for radio.
Yes. We need to have a fat joke counter so that way he can feel good about himself.
It wasn't even a joke. I was talking about how your head turns all the way around.
That's funny.
The Exorcist? No?
That wouldn't even make sense. You need to stop drinking because you're losing yourself.
I will never stop drinking. I've always kept myself as keeps me normal. Guys, hey, no, really though. So let's talk about Laurel K. Hamilton again.
It's a good catch. Good catch. No, the first few books are really good, and then it kind of goes downhill. Eventually, she gets back into just the story itself. Like she was a normal person, and she like
Will K. Hamilton or
Anita Blake.
the one she wrote about.
She's just a normal person. She has some abilities and stuff like that. I'm trying not to do as many spoilers as possible in this one, but she's got some abilities, and when she fights, she doesn't have like superhuman strength. She's fighting vampires, which do, so she has to think of ways to get out of the situation. And so she's always on her feet and stuff, but then eventually it just turns into she has superpowers and she has sex with people. And it's just it takes away from, being a hero and her like having these interesting strengths to just basically being a hooker with powers.
It's awesome though. Are you talking about Laurel K. Hamilton or the
Anita Blake?
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the picture, guys, of Laurel K. Hamilton, and if you haven't read her books, just look at her pictures, because she is damn. I mean, she's pretty hot. She's like a ginger Reba McEntire.
Not my type.
Oh, that's my type all the way. O negative.
I'm married,
for sure. I am too. I'd still bite her neck. Vampires. See what we're doing here? Vampires.
Oh God.
I'd bite her neck. I'd drain her essence.
The books are good though. The books are good. Even the ones with a lot of sex in them that like do that. She's a really good writer. She can still do good, but at the same time, I feel like she took away from the strengths of her character by going way too much into making her this ultra powerful, like basically just fuck buddy for everybody around her.
So 99.9% chance we'll never get Laurel K. Hamilton on the show as a guest, because Jack, who's never written a book or hardly a page of paper in his life,
written a page. Wrote?
Laurel K., if you're listening, I want you on the show. Be our guest.
I said she's a great writer. I mean, I didn't say her books sucked. I just said that they're just something I felt like that was taken away from it. That's my critical judgment of it, is that I felt like something was taken away.
All I know is she's a total Betty, and if she writes as good as she looks, fuck yeah, doggy. Let's do this. I'm a cashew.
There's not just vampires in the books. There's also werewolves and zombies.
That's
and
a different
like that.
podcast.
Well,
We'll go to a different episode for that. All right, how about movies, man? How about movies? What do you think movie-wise?
Oh, for the love of God.
These poor bastards.
Why do you think I would remember
still
any fucking movie about vampire? There's no movie that really you know what? Actually, I like Van Helsing, the one with fucking Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
There we go.
So he doesn't know anything about vampires, because he wouldn't like that fucking movie if he did. By the way, Hugh Jackman, you owe me almost 2 hours of my life back for that, and then extra hours for every fucking X-Men movie you're in, you asshole. Not that you're a bad Wolverine, but who are these writers? What the fuck?
Why'd you call him an asshole then?
Because he played in those movies.
That's not his fault.
It's like Ryan Reynolds at least had the decency to be a good Deadpool after being the most horrible fucking Deadpool ever.
Would you like a free $1 million? No.
Well, they paid Jake Gyllenhaal to make out with what's-his-face a few $1 million, and I had a buddy's like, hey man, like Brokeback Mountain? Well, if I was an actor and someone paid me a few $1 million to make out and have fake sex with another dude, I'd do it. I'm like, well, good, you're not me. Nothing against homosexuality, guys. Hey, I'm cool.
We're just gonna insult everybody. You call me racist every 3 minutes.
I'm just not that kind of guy.
Call me fat, call me racist, and now you're making fun of gay people.
I never called you fat once, fat ass. Jesus.
We have nothing against
we've lost
anybody.
Our entire audience.
We have nothing against anybody.
We don't. We really don't. We love everybody. We're so glad. If you guys are still listening to putting up with us, just imagine how much better it'll be in 10 years if we're still able to do this
wouldn't care. We literally wouldn't care if you're that fat vampire in the middle of the archives in Blade, okay? That's how much we wouldn't care.
What was the name of that vampire?
I have no fucking clue.
Oh, damn it. What was his name? Because that was... Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, too.
I think it was a chick.
That was mortifying. No, it was a dude. It was... Oh, fuck. Guys, I'm going to Google this live. I'm going to Google live.
We're Googling
Google owes me money for this, I'm sure. Archivist in Blade.
You know that's not going to work.
God damn it didn't work. Okay. The Fat Archivist in Blade, the movie.
Oh, for the love of God.
Pearl!
It worked!
Yes, it worked.
Son of a bitch, it works!
Pearl was rad, dude. That was a great character.
That entire scene was creepy.
No, that was great.
Oh my God, speaking of which, I saw the fucking a commercial for TurboTax today with Humpty Dumpty, and it was the creepiest thing. Like, it was so fucking creepy. I had to mention it.
Guys, if we did a video cast right now, I'd put it up on the. We'll put it up on our Facebook page. Remember to put it on the Facebook page. All right, Jack. The Humpty Dumpty TurboTax.
Oh, you seen it too?
No, I haven't. But put it up on the Facebook page.
Oh, I will.
I'm not going to pull it up yet. I'll watch it later because the listeners can't see it.
It's the mythical. The page is still mythical at this moment.
Oh god.
Because for whatever reason, I think my wife got sick or something because she hates my life.
Is that why? Are you sure it wasn't vampires?
And she probably got bit by a vampire. But if she did,
It might have been Jor.
It was probably Jor.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
We should have cut his head off and light him on fire.
But
put rocks in his mouth.
That's not going to help. Obviously, if it didn't help the first time.
Oh, word. Do you know any other vampires?
No.
Do you know anybody with tuberculosis, which seems to be what caused most people to believe in vampires?
No.
Another
but
episode,
if I have a
guys.
Hawthorne stick, I'll make sure to test it out.
Stick. I have a hockey stick. It's kind of similar.
I'm trying to picture this dude running after him, smacking him in the back of the head with a Hawthorne stick.
I think there was like a tackling scenario or something. I'm imagining this in my mind.
So they don't have superpowers then. They must be normal people.
Well, no, supposedly they do, but like the question is for the whole other episode, the ancient vampire beliefs, which is another episode, guys. If Jack ever gets off his ass and does some recording.
Some what?
Research.
This is the alcohol side of the show.
Alcohol. You can use it. Alcohol. Alcohol. Guys.
Alcohol.
Okay, so some good vampire movies. 40 Days a Night with Josh Hartnett.
Never saw it.
Awesome vampire movie. It really is good. It's basically, there's a place in Alaska where they get 40 days a night, which is true. They don't have sun. They have sun a ton of the time, but then there's 40 days of pure night. These vampires ascend on this town of Alaska, and this guy, played by Josh Hartnett, who isn't the worst actor ever, and I kind of hate the fact that he's not a bad actor, because he's so pretty. And not in a good way, as a guy, but good for him, fella. Good for you.
This just went downhill.
Oh, it's been downhill for a long. We've been.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen, this movie though, it's so good. So these vampires ascend on this town in Alaska and they start attacking people because there's 40 days a night, so they don't have to worry about the sun coming up. That's the whole premise, and the movie's actually really well done. It's a really good movie.
I legitimately haven't seen it. I might have to see it now.
Okay, so The Lost Boys. There's another good vampire movie. Kiefer Sutherland's in it.
Oh my god, I forgot about The Lost Boys.
The Coreys are in it.
The Feldmans, you mean?
There's one Feldman.
I know,
and
but I
one
want to
Hain.
call them Feldman because I don't give a shit.
Not cool though. After all the Hollywood stuff, not cool. So anyway, this movie's really good, and it's an excellent movie. You haven't seen Lost Boys? You need to watch that. It's a really, really good movie too, vampire-wise, and very like 80s, early 90s-ish kind of theme to it, feeling to it.
Lots of big hair.
Yeah, there's a lot of big hair to it. Not
Lots
as much
of big
as you
hair.
would expect though. Not as much as you'd expect.
Definitely some Jerry curl.
John Carpenter's Vampires with James Woods.
Yeah.
If you want to, first of all, John Carpenter is a master of horror and comedy all at once.
Yeah.
He is so good. The Thing.
Who was the lead guy in that movie? Do you remember?
James Woods, dude.
What's James Woods?
John Carpenter's James fucking Woods. John Carpenter's Vampires. Awesome movie.
You see, what they did wrong there was they didn't use candy to trap James Woods.
Exactly. A piece of candy might have got him, and a nice musical number. But
And a box.
Still,
And a box.
And then the guy from, I want to say Bloodsport was in it. I can't remember his name, though.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, no, it was a Baldwin, I think.
Wait a minute.
It might have been a Baldwin.
Yeah, it was Baldwin.
It was a
I think it was
Baldwin.
Alec,
one of the
actually.
Baldwins.
I think it was Alec.
I don't think, let's check.
Why are we looking again?
Because guys, we wanted to give you the best information we can, and thank God for Google, because we don't pay attention to shit. Also, we don't study this part out, we just talk about all of it. John Carpenter's Vampires to Google.
Here's some information about vampires.
That didn't go well.
It didn't go well, but it actually went pretty well. Let's see.
Which Baldwin is it?
Hold on. Daniel Baldwin! Oh!
Wrong Baldwin.
You were wrong, bro.
Of all the Baldwins, it had to be Dan Baldwin.
Oh, and Carrie Haruko Tagawa. Carrie Tagawa from fame of all sorts of other shits in it.
That doesn't even make sense. From fame and all other shits in it. What fame
He was
and
in
shits?
Showdown Little Tokyo with Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren.
And the obscure references just continue.
He was in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, he was Shao Kahn in Mortal
that one.
Kombat. Okay.
Yeah, I know. He's Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat. He's in that too. So John Carpenter's Vampires, also a good movie.
Yeah.
It's more. I wouldn't take it seriously. Like if you're gonna try to go hunting for vampires, that's what you'll do. But really good to watch. Also,
Don't go hunting for vampires.
Nosferatu, which is a blatant
Never
ripoff
seen
of
it.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Well, most people can't sit through a silent film anymore. But really
Wait.
creepy.
How was Nosferatu a blatant ripoff of Bram Stoker?
It was literally based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. But
Oh wait, that's right, because the
they
book is older than the
changed
movie.
they changed things up to make it so the guy wouldn't get sued who did it.
Oh, for the love of God.
So he actually changed things up to make it slightly different. And then also Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman.
Yeah, what we need to point out to a lot of people is that, for the people who aren't vampire aficionados out there, Bram Stoker's Dracula was a book before it was a movie. A lot longer.
Everyone, I think, knows this.
You know, that's not true because I
But
didn't know it until a while ago.
the movie what?
I didn't know it for a long
You
time.
didn't know there was a book before a movie? That,
I thought the book came out around the same time as the movie did. I
Oh
I honestly didn't know.
my fuck. Guys, I don't want to tell you anymore about my co-host here, Jack.
I literally didn't care to know. I mean,
Keanu Reeves is in the movie.
Keanu Reeves wasn't in the book, though.
Because the book was before the movie. Keanu Reeves isn't born yet.
Well, Keanu Reeves was in The Matrix at the time of the book. So,
No.
yeah.
No. What?
was like- it was
no,
like
no,
1980.
Oh, God, no.
I don't know.
No. Oh, Jesus, no.
Are you getting your head decapitated, or is this a...
Also, Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Oh, God.
Hey, shut your whore mouth. Also based off Bram Stoker's
Bordello
Dracula.
Bordello of Blood?
Bordello of Blood. I forgot about Tales from the Crypt. Bordello of Blood. Also a terrible movie. Don't fucking watch that.
Oh, yeah, totally shit.
That's what you're gonna do. We're talking about good vampire movies. You're gonna bring Bordello of Blood,
Yeah, but it was funny.
bro.
It was funny, though.
Bro.
It was so stupid it was funny.
No, it was just god fucking awful.
Okay, you have a point.
It's like Demon Knight with Billy Zane.
I actually like Demon Knight.
I'm sure you did. I like Billy Zane, but not in that movie.
Okay, well, Billy Zane was good.
He does have a handsome bald head.
Sure does.
Mm-hmm.
Sure does.
Yeah. If I was a vampire and I was just getting scalps
Yeah.
to grow my follicles back, I'd attack Billy Zane's head.
That'd probably be right at. Maybe where it was.
Fangs right in his head.
Anyways, so movies. Anything else on that one?
Man, a ton. And Salem's Lot, which was actually
Was that a vampire
filmed.
movie? Oh,
It's Stephen King.
Of course
Salem's
it
Lot.
was.
Filmed locally.
I was
in
thinking of Pet
Ferndale.
Sematary for like
I've
half a
actually
second.
been to the Marston house. I've been there. They did a facade on it for the movie, but it's still there. I've been to that place in Ferndale. It's actually.
I did
Awesome
not know
movie
that
as
was in
well.
Ferndale.
Yeah, it was filmed in Ferndale.
Was the original or wasn't there a remake?
The movie was filmed in Ferndale. I think it was I don't know if it was a movie or if it was one of those multi-TV event things.
I think it was a movie.
Yeah, guys, so back in the day, they used to have these mini-series on TV.
Actually,
Do you guys remember Blockbuster?
nobody remembers Blockbuster.
You guys remember LimeWire?
Oh, God.
Napster? No? Nobody? Alright. Alright, so next time I want to go over vampire serial killers. I got a
Maybe
list
we
of them
should,
here. What?
Maybe we should split that up. Maybe they want to hear about something else next week.
Well, we can talk about that next week, but no.
Vampires are so
no, bro. Passe.
yeah, they're passe.
Well, you're kind of a pussy, so it's fine.
Fuck you.
You're not my type. Anyhow, it's also not Texarkana. Okay, so what did we cover today? There are people that are accused of being vampires with questionable circumstances. There are good vampire movies, and no one can remember any vampire video games aside from fucking Castlevania.
And potentially Devil May Cry.
And those motherfuckers are not sparkly.
Not one.
Not fucking one of them.
Not even close.
Fuck a sparkly vampire.
I mean,
Don't actually
That would be
fuck
weird.
a sparkly vampire, but... Now, we do need to get in the subculture of vampire, because there are people that live today that are, of their own volition, quote, vampires.
naturally.
They don't want to call it a lifestyle. I don't want to offend them, because I would like to have them on the show. There's
Of course,
also...
he wants to offend everyone else and me while he's at it, though.
and eventually vampires too. Now, I'm not really worried about offending people because It's a fucking podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
We're a paranormal podcast. You guys should expect us by now. We're not Art Bell.
expect us.
Expect us. What is that from something?
I have, yeah, it is, but I don't
want to
remember.
get sued.
I don't remember what
Don't
it is.
expect us. I had that little caveat.
We
in there.
aren't Legion.
That's in the Bible.
I don't care.
Except without the aren't. I think Legion was actually in the Bible.
I have no idea.
So, do you think you can man up for Cigar of the Week next week? Because I really am chagrined on it having Cigar of the Week.
Well, just a few days, I should be fine.
Fucking strep throat. Vagina man. So, guys, anyhow, again, if you have any information about vampires, give us some information. Give us your references for books, movies. If you have another video game, some Castle fucking Vania. If you have stories, if you've ever encountered a vampire or something like it, if you have any information that is better than what we have to give you, please email us at vanishinggates@gmail.com, 2 G's, so we can plagiarize. I mean, talk about it on a later episode.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to steal it from
Yeah, we're not going to steal that and take credit for it at all.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's not us.
Now, at the same time, when you guys email us, let us know if it's okay to use your names.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, because we don't want to just throw your name out there. We're not going to read where you're from unless you want us to. But if you want us to read your stories, and it doesn't have to be about vampires, ghost stories, stories about Bigfoot, giants, Loch Ness Monster. Fuck, if you came back from the dead, if you have a recurring life memory, what do they call that when you've been resurrected?
One more thing. We really don't want you to get all butthurt if we make fun of it. Or say that it's fake. Because the fact of the matter is, we're going to call it the fuck out if we think it's fake.
No, we're not.
Oh, I totally will.
No, we're not.
Oh, I totally will.
No, we're not.
I'm going to call it out every time.
That's why he's Captain Jack Killadream. I will read it and appreciate everything you have to say. Everything you have to say. I will read and appreciate it without making fun of you directly.
Fine, I'll be nice.
He won't be nice.
No, I won't.
All right, guys. So, hey, still got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about something more personal.
I was a vampire once.
I was a teenage werewolf.
Oh, shit. You win.
Served.
So what are we talking about now?
Oh, dude.
Dead Space?
Yeah, Dead Space.
Just dead air?
Dead air. Let's go back to... Oh, keep recording. I'm going to go back to playing this theme live so you guys can hear the Vanishing Gates thing. Vanishing Gates theme.
Yep.
Live.
He's playing these things
On
live.
a Yamaha keyboard.
On a Yamaha.
Which I have borrowed.
His borrowed Yamaha.
Hold on, guys. Don't worry. We'll get there. If you guys are still listening, we love you so much.
We don't deserve good fans.
We have the best fans in the fucking world just listening to this shit now.
Yeah, if you followed us for the last episode to this one, you're a great fan and we love you.
Is this episode 2 now?
Yeah, this will be episode 2.
Episode 2?
Well, the first one's not going to have any music or anything like that, because I'm still shitty. Let's not sing with it.